All right, welcome back. It's time now to answer your legal questions. You can call us now, 256-536-0077. We'll lead with our friends at Timberlake, League and Brooks now joining us this morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
All right, Tori, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. While we wait for callers, let's talk a little bit about the new year and some of the new laws and changes going into effect.
You know, one thing we looked at, before I came up here, the FOCUS Act,
right,
which, Alabama is ranked 44th in national education. Not a great score. And I'm pleased to announce that our legislature has now enacted for 25-26, the FOCUS Act, which stands for Freeing Our Classrooms of Unnecessary Screens. Okay, so let's get the kids focused. I think most folks are for that. Now the pros are more concentration, less bullying. You know, we did that show on August board and all the horrible things that's going on over there. You know, and the bullying, nobody wants their kids bullied. Everybody wants the kids to do well. So the legislature has enacted the FOCUS Act, which bans screens or phones from 8 to, during that time. Now, the detractors say, what if you can't get in touch with your children, or children can't get in touch with the parents? Well, we did it for a couple hundred years without that. So it seems like that would be a reasonable accommodation to try and get kids focused back in school. And the numbers don't lie, Tori. 44th in education in Alabama, that's not good. I think we can all agree on that.
There have been some people who have said about that in the case of a school security type situation,
right,
the kids not having access to their phones.
Right.
Legally, how would all that work?
It's a risk-benefit analysis. So, when the child goes into the school system, they're supposed to be protected, and we get it with all the shootings and all the stuff going on. You got to balance that with, the risk of bullying, poor grades, all those things. And so I get it. It's a concern, but overall, I think the Alabama legislature has spoken, the voters have spoken. They want the screens outside of the classroom so the kids can focus. And that's a legitimate concern of parents. Hey, how can I get in touch with my kids? Or vice versa, or if there's a shooting or some emergency, right? Mm-hmm. But the legislature has clearly spoken to try and focus, our kids on their, on the task at school. And some people are going to be in support of this, and some are against it. But right now, that's the law. And you guys have just done, switching gears, you guys just done a wonderful show on the Maduro. So if anybody's got any questions about extraditing a foreign president from a sovereign country without congressional approval, happy to talk about that as well. A lot of things going on in the first of the year.
Any other big laws for the start of the year that people should be on the lookout for?
There's some legislation that's been pushed about going back and forth about grandparents' visitation. Okay. So that's going back and forth for a while. The reality is sometimes parents are blowing it, are not doing what they're supposed to do. And oftentimes the grandparents are the more mature, responsible one in that child's life. And the Alabama Supreme Court has gone back and forth on the extent and nature allowing grandparent visitation. As it stands now, the parents make the call, okay? And there's a lot of argument on the other side that it needs to be on a case-by-case basis. Again, what if the parent has been arrested 50 times? What if the parent is not, in trouble with DHR? Does it have to be a formal adoption process? There's many advocates say grandparents should have a right to access. But again, I understand both sides. It's a very delicate topic, but one that really needs to be addressed for these children.
It sounds like we have a caller on the line. Patricia, do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yes. I was calling. I was trying
Patricia, can you hear us?
Find out. Yes, I can hear you all.
I can hear her.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was wanting to ask a question about my son was in an accident, and the person that hit him, they had insurance, but the insurance will only pay for what the car was worth. So he still has a loan on the car. So we're just wondering, is we just out of luck with that, or?
Okay, let me repeat that question to our guest here. So her son was in an accident.
Okay.
The other driver had insurance, but they're only covering up to a certain amount, and the son still has a loan on the car. What are the options
Is
moving
it for
forward.
property damage?
The car.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So under Alabama law, you're entitled to. They're telling us I got 30 seconds, Patricia. So I'll try and answer it fast. Under Alabama law, if the other party's at fault, they have to either replace or repair your vehicle. If they have to replace it, it's the fair market value. Okay. And you fuss with the insurance company. They used NADA, Blue Book, Black Book. So I would, study up on what the value of your vehicle is. But let's say its value is $10,000. They're only offering $8,000. You've got two options: one, accept it, or two, you can file a lawsuit and litigate the value of your particular car. There's a third option: you can go to your own insurance carrier and see if they'll give you more, and then go against the other driver's insurance company. Now, you have to prove the value of your vehicle, and you as a person can testify. You don't need expert testimony. You can testify as the value of your vehicle. But again, the other side will come in and look at NADA, Blue Book, Black Book, all those traditional values. So it's not unusual, but you can litigate that particular issue.
All right, thanks so much.
All right.
And Happy New Year to you as well. Remember, you can always call our friends over at Timberlake League and Brooks. Thanks so much for coming on. They have a blog as well for more information.